What's up, trainers? Welcome to Season 11. Today we are featuring a team that I used in Season 10 in the Great League Remix that took me to, I think it was 163 on the leaderboard starting out. The team is Empoleon, Dragalge, and Shadow Lugia. So this team is inspired by the team in Ultra League that's very common, which was Empoleon Double Dragon. Instead of Kingdra, we are using Dragalge because it is much better in the Great League. And instead of Dragonite in the back, we're using a different flyer. We're using Shadow Lugia. So this team, we basically want to try and draw out the Shadow Lugia counter with the Dragalge. The Dragalge is a very, very strong safe swap in this meta. Empoleon is just a very good generalist in the lead. Uh, so I highly recommend using this team. This will be the team I will be continuing to use in the Great League. So let's go ahead and see some of these battles. First up, we have Empoleon and the Shiftry. Pretty bad lead. You know, we don't really have a superior answer for the Shiftry. So we have to come into our Dragalge because I really don't want it on the Empoleon. So go ahead and eat a foul play, and that's a very unfortunate. Now, we get a Marowak, a low and Marowak coming in here, Shadow version. Um, this is not a good matchup for low and Marowak. They don't have a strong Dragalge counter. So there's no fairy of any type in the back. So I get myself into shield advantage. I'm going to take that. We'll go ahead and farm down with the Empoleon and get a shield back from the Shiftry. The Shiftry does have a decent amount of energy, so I gotta be very careful about what I shield and where. So I'll be 2 more waterfalls away from that drill peck. Go ahead and throw this. This should give their last shield or kill this Shiftry, which will put us in a very good spot. They're 2 shields down. We're 2 shields up with Shadow Lugia. This is honestly the worst case scenario for Shadow Lugia right here. I don't have Hydro Pump, and this is one of the few matchups where Hydro Pump actually matters. So if you have Aeroblast versus Hydro Pump, the only time that Hydro Pump is better is when there's a 2-stage differential. So flying has to be resisted, and water has to be super effective. Mag Cargo is one of those examples. We do go ahead and kill this Mag Cargo. We'll have to shield their move. They were running Rock, so we're going to get the 2 moves. Besides, they can't hold 2 moves. It's 55 energy moves, so we had shield 1. So we did have to eat 1 Leaf Blade, but luckily the Waterfalls were able to come through and KO. So next game up, we have against you got Snorlax. So we have a weird lead here. I don't like Dragon leads just because I have very good Dragon coverage in the back. It makes it very awkward. Here comes a Night Slash. We'll go ahead and let this go. I want to put myself into a shield advantage. This is one of the very few times where I'll actually safe swap the Shadow Lugia. Typically, I use it as a closer. Shadow Lugia with a shield and Aeroblast is just insane, as we just saw that previous matchup. So I'll go ahead and shield this up. I'll put some energy on it. Let's see what they have for me. We are able to kill Dragalge before it gets Dragagon before it gets another move off, and the red shield comes in. So typically the red shield would end up on the Dragalge, so not really too terrible of a situation. It's just, I think the same outcome essentially if we would have came into Gouge, but we do get off that really nice Air Blast. It does about the same amount of damage. I think it's like 1 or 2 damage off of a Hydro Pump. So they do throw the Zap Can. They should be dry. We're going to go ahead and farm this all the way down. Actually, we're going to throw. I take that back. This will either force the final shield. Okay, it does. I think I can just let this go. I mean, the Dragons versus Empoleon are really bad for both matchups. So they have a Hakomo in the back. I get that Dragon Tail through. Go ahead and show up this Dragon Claw. And then the Dragon Tails plus the Aqua Tail should be enough to KO. I want to try and throw as late as possible, just in case they do sneak one that I don't take as much Dragon Tail damage as I could. So, try to minimize that. So we do get a move off on that red shield, and that will be enough for the KO. And next up, we have Empoleon into Empoleon. This is not a fun mirror. It's very neutral. I'm not really able to really have the control that I'm looking for. So we're going to throw here at 7. I typically like to throw at 7 since maybe I can get a sneak at 6. They do let it go. Interesting. I'm going to try and catch a Hydro Cannon here. I do. This is kind of okay. The Empoleon's low. They have another Hydro Cannon banked. They come in their own Dragalge. This is a very awkward spot. Um, Honestly, I'm taking some damage. I'm not going to get the outrage. I do as much as I can. I do have a Hydro Cannon loaded, though. Honestly, I'm on my way. We'll go ahead and throw the Drill Peck. Any move that they were throwing at us wouldn't hurt at all. And we go ahead and cater the Dragalge with some energy. What's in the back? Okay, the Empoleon comes in. Shouldn't kill. Gotta figure out what we gotta do here. And we Simul here. So there's now 2 shields for both of us versus the back. So there's a Frostlass in the back. That is not good. I wasn't able to draw that out with my own Dragalge. Very good play by the opponent. Well, they'll outpace me to 3 avalanches. My win con is to do enough Dragon Tail damage that it KOs. I've got to go for the Air Blast and go for that 12.5% chance that I boost. I did not. Man, can I get there? I don't think I can. And I do not. I was, I'd say, 2 Dragon Tails away. So, trying to get an extra Dragon Tail was the key there, but very well played by the opponent. Empoleon into Registeel again. So, this is what I need to see it. Obviously not in the back line. We're going to throw a Hydro Cannon right at this Registeel. And hopefully it goes through unshielded. Alright, a little bit lag. Okay, they do shield, which is not ideal. This does the most damage. They're going to Zap Cannon me and debuff me. So now my Waterfalls do less, my Hydro Cannons do less. Not the ideal scenario. Go ahead and get a Hydro Cannon off before I get debuffed again. I really need this to go through. I don't like the backline on the Registeel. We do get a nice Waterfall through. We'll shield again. Do we shield focus? It's a Zap Cannon again, so they, worst case scenario, we're at 100 energy, which means 20 residual. So we'll go ahead and eat this Rock Slide and try and get the final shield here. These Dragon Tails are doing quite a bit to this Shadow Machamp. Can we set up our backline with that Dragalge? Because we'll get farmed down. So now we gotta figure out where we go. Unfortunately, that Dragon Tail was not enough to KO. So we're gonna need a Rock Slide here. But the Registeel's dry. What's in the back? A Muck. 2, 3. They tried to catch. They didn't. So I'm going to farm up some. I'm going to get to an Aqua Tail. Very close. I think they're at, what was it? I said 3. So it should be 4 or 5 of the Dark Pulse. That should be Dark Pulse. That's Dark Pulse. So I need to be very, very careful with my energy to get, I think it's a CMP too. Was that 4? So very, very close there. That Muck in the back was kind of scary. Really glad it wasn't on the Lugia in the late game and I was on the Dragalge. So Dragalge into Empoleon. Another weird lead. I mean, I'm going to no shield this move. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Drill Peck at them. This doesn't kill. I'm assuming it's going to be an Outrage. Okay. So they could potentially have their own Empoleon in their back line as well. Empoleon Dragalge is a very strong core, as we saw from our opponent earlier. And we were able to Dragon Tail it down before we get off another move. Beedrill comes in. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and get a Skytop off here. And I'm going to no shield. Worst they throw is X's. They could potentially have Fell Stinger. Those poison jabs are adding up. Go ahead and try and get this move off. It's worth a shield. I'll either get the KO or I'll get their final shield. And then put Dragalge. Oh, they catch on his wireless. Very good play. but this is gonna be actually quite helpful for us. They're at about 2 Dragon Breaths. They're gonna get to the Body Slam before us. This Dragon Tail kills. Body Slam will not kill us. These Poison Jabs from the Beedrill will be resisted. We'll need to get to 2 Aqua Tails to KO. There's the first Aqua Tail. We'll get the shield. And there's the second one, and that is a GG's. So, final game, I believe, here. Kofagrigus into Empoleon. Again, very neutral. I do not want this on Lugia. And if I don't want to eat a Psychic on Dragalge. So I kind of have to stay in. But now I'm killing my A, which is not the best case scenario. So this is a very ABB team. I would really like to go into Dragalge just because it's one of the... and we get the kill for they even farm. Now, I'm going to just instantly swap to Dragalge. I kind of don't want to stay in. And we get a Vigoroth to come in. So we have 2 answers for this. We get a Mandibuzz onto the Dragalge. This is kind of where I want to see it. I'd much rather not see this on Lugia. So, I mean, can't complain right here. I go for a bait. We'll see if it was a good bait or not. They have 2 shields. They do not shield, which is not a great bait. This will not kill, but we'll be able to get to another Outrage. Hopefully, we can draw some shields and let Lugia clean up here. Because we know their whole team. We just got to put the right stuff on the right mon. Again, they're still letting it go. Little do they know those counters will be double resisted by the Lugia, and they are going to be forced to just throw body slams. So we're in a decent spot. We do get that shield finally. And they farm down. So we'll be able to survive a foul play here. And I think we're 1 away. But I anticipate a swap. So I'm going to go ahead and snipe. And we do get that off. So we'll need a Sky Attack plus the Dragon Tails. I think that should be enough. Obviously, you can see these counters just doing nothing. Body Slam hurt. Body Slam's a fantastic move. It is stab. Still, it is not lethal. They can't counter me down. And we'll get to 1 away here. Again, we're forcing them to throw counters as which are just double resisted. They don't do damage. And we get the Sky Attack off. This is going to kill. And that's how you handle a very neutral lead. So, as you can see here, this team is really strong. It's actually got some decent amount of spice to it with the Shadow Lugia. But Shadow Lugia can do a lot in the remix meta. Empoleon is an absolutely amazing mon. You'll see a lot of Vigoroth safe swaps, which I think really is able to take advantage of this team, resisting counter in the backline, being weak to it in the front, trying to force those out. So I highly recommend it. Make sure you hit the subscribe on this channel. It lets you know when we post our new videos. Thank you all for tuning in. And as always, hit all the bubbles.